Here's a guy who started in a garage with big dreams and an even bigger forehead. He turned books into billions, decided two-day shipping wasn't fast enough, and then thought, you know what this planet's missing? Me in space. Still don't know who I'm talking about. Let's just say he's proof you don't need hair to reach new heights. Literally. Humble beginnings. Born to sell. Maybe spaceships? Jeffrey Bezos, also known as the man who turned cardboard boxes into an empire, was born on January 12, 1964, in dry-as-hell Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you're wondering why Albuquerque sounds familiar, it's where Walter White cooked meth in Breaking Bad. But don't worry, Bezos went for a different kind of hustle. Born to a teenage mom, Jacqueline Gies, and his biological father, Ted Jorgensen, a unicyclist, yes, a literal circus performer, Jeff's early life could have gone in a very different direction. Thankfully, when he was 4, his mom married Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant who adopted him. Miguel didn't just give him his last name, he gave him the work ethic of a man who escaped Cuba on a raft. As a kid, Jeff was already showing signs of becoming an evil genius like Gru from Despicable Me. Legend has it that he dismantled his crib with a screwdriver because he wanted a real bed. Fast forward to adulthood, and he's dismantled the retail industry with prime shipping. Coincidence? I think not. Bro has somehow managed to spoil all of us and set a new standard for shipping times. High school nerd. From valedictorian to visionary. Bezos grew up in no-good Houston, Texas, where the homes are cheaper than your shed in California, and later Miami, where everyone has sniffed white powder at least once. He attended Miami Palmetto High School, and he was valedictorian, of course. In his graduation speech, he talked about space colonies like the fucking nerd that he was. Imagine being a teenager and saying, yeah, Earth is cool, but what if we lived in space? That's like your classmate planning a trip to Mars while you're worried about passing algebra. After high school, Bezos attended Princeton University and graduated in 1986 with a degree in electrical engineering and computer science. Because, of course, the man who built Amazon studied how to build systems smarter than us so he can weed out the COVID graduates, because let's face it, they don't necessarily align with the term survival of the fittest. Wall Street warrior to garage gambler. After Princeton, Bezos took a sloppy job on Wall Street, working for companies like Feitel, Bankers Trust, and D.E. Shaw. At D.E. Shaw, he climbed the ranks to senior vice president faster than most people climb out of bed on Mondays. It was there that he met his wife, Mackenzie Scott, who later funded half of Seattle's charities with their divorce settlement. But we'll get to that later. In 1994, Bezos stumbled across a statistic that said the internet was growing at 2,300% a year. Most people would have thought, cool, I'll get an AOL email address. Bezos thought, let's sell books to everyone on the planet. He quit his shitty job, moved to Seattle, and started Amazon.com in his garage. While most people's garages are full of no-good bikes and broken treadmills, Bezos used his to build an empire. Amazon, the great disruptor. Amazon started as a humble online bookstore. Bezos himself would pack books and drive them to the post office. Fun fact, he famously used doors as desks in the early days because they were cheaper than actual furniture. Yep, the richest man in the world started with IKEA hacks. By the late 1990s, Amazon expanded beyond books, selling everything from CDs, I'm sure most people don't even know what CD stands for, to garden gnomes. People laughed at him saying, "You can't sell everything online, Baldy." Well, look who's laughing now. Hint, it's Jeff sitting on his $150 billion fortune, probably from his spaceship. But it wasn't all smooth sailing on Karamja. During the dot-com bubble burst in the early 2000s, Amazon stock tanked by 90%. Most CEOs would have panicked, but Bezos doubled down, and when he wasn't busy saving Amazon, he was perfecting his trademark laugh, one so menacing it sounds like a villain's laugh in a Marvel movie. Innovations that changed the game. Under Bezos, Amazon launched Amazon Prime, 2005. Get your cat food delivered in 2 days or less. Because why wait and piss off your feline? Kindle, 2007. Single-handedly killed Borders and Barnes & Noble. R.I.P. bookstores, we hardly knew ya. Amazon Web Services, AWS, 2006. Powering half the internet while we argue about Wi-Fi passwords. Alexa, 2014. The home assistant that doesn't judge your terrible taste in music. Bezos didn't just want to sell you shady stuff, he wanted to control how you got it, when you got it, and how much of it you bought. You might call it genius, others might call it a little creepy. Blue Origin, the space cowboy. Because disrupting Earth wasn't enough, Bezos decided to take over space. In 2000, he founded Blue Origin, a private space company dedicated to making space travel as common as booking an Uber, but way more expensive. In 2021, he took a joyride to space aboard his New Shepard rocket. The rocket itself looked, let's just say, questionable in shape. Let's not Google Bezos rocket memes. You're welcome. Still, Bezos dreams of colonizing space. His plan? Move all the heavy industry off Earth so humanity can live on the planet like a retirement home. Yeah, right. Like corporate America would let that happen. Sounds great except for one question. Who's paying for this? Oh, right. United States, through Prime subscriptions. Personal life, divorce, donations, and the bald flex. In 2019, Bezos divorced his wife, Mackenzie Scott, in one of the most expensive divorces in history. She walked away with $38 billion and immediately started giving it away to charity. Bezos? He bought a yacht so big it needed a smaller yacht. The man is the epitome of, I'm rich and I know it. His relationship with Lauren Sanchez, a former news anchor, also made headlines. Between their public appearances and the tabloid coverage, Bezos became the most meme-D billionaire alive. The controversies, labor, taxes, and the supervillain vibes. While Bezos is celebrated for his innovations, he's also been criticized for Amazon's labor practices. He works them like dogs and won't let them even take a piss break. Workers complain about brutal hours, minimal breaks, and surveillance-level micromanagement. Meanwhile, Bezos builds rockets and hangs out on his $500 million yacht. Talk about work-life balance, am I right? Then there's the tax thing. Amazon has faced criticism for paying little to no federal income tax in some years. Imagine being so rich that even Uncle Sam can't get his cut. Legacy. The man who changed the world. Whether we like it or not. Love him or roast him, Jeff Bezos has undeniably shaped the modern era. He revolutionized shopping with Amazon, brought cloud computing to the masses with AWS, inspired a generation of billionaires to say, why not go to space? But let's be real. His impact isn't all rainbows and 2-day shipping. Bezos represents the double-edged sword of innovation. Progress comes at a cost. Whether it's shuttering local businesses or turning humans into algorithms, sneaky Bezos has shown us that the future is a place where convenience and efficiency rule all. Let us know when we can buy land in Mars, yeah? Present day, January 2025. Bald and still winning. As of 2025, Bezos is worth over $150 billion and spends his time on philanthropy, space exploration, and, presumably, polishing his head for maximum shine. He's still one of the most polarizing figures in history, part hero, part villain, depending on who you ask. One thing's for sure, Jeff Bezos didn't just ride the wave of the internet era, he was the wave. Love him or hate him, he's a reminder that sometimes all it takes is a dream, a garage, and a laugh that says, I know something you don't. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe for future roast tributes to past and present people that change the world around us.